ほら、ルフィ、今一緒に海賊になる仲間を探してるんだ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Wandering Zoro, your go-to destination for anime-related content. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. In today's video, we're going to be diving into part 2 of the series What If Deku Inherited the Power of Every Ranger Before Him. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Students, what? A quirk assessment test? Ochiko, but orientation. We're gonna miss it. Aizawa, if you really want to make the big leagues, you can't waste time on pointless ceremonies. That's why I had you all do introductions earlier. Here at UA, we're not tethered to traditions. That means I get to run my class however I see fit. You've been taking standardized tests most of your lives, but you never got to use your quirks in physical exams before. The country's still trying to pretend we're all created equal by not letting those with the most power excel. It's not rational. One day, the Ministry of Education will learn. Izuku, you managed to get the most points on the entrance exam. Izuku, yeah? Aizawa, what was your farthest distance with a softball back in junior high? Izuku, 55 meters? Aizawa, try doing it with your quirk. He goes to the circle in the field. Aizawa, anything goes, just stay in the circle. Izuku, alright. His morpher then changed into Izuku, overdrive accelerate. I can't find a GIF or video of the full morph sequence. Sorry. Izuku, overdrive Red Ranger. Izuku then threw the ball with tremendous strength, and it landed 803.4 meters away. When Aizawa showed the score, everyone freaked out like crazy. Zelda, 803.4 meters? I'm impressed. Ruby, I want to go too. This seems fun. Toru, we get to use our quirks as much as we want. Aizawa, fun you say? Clover, oh. Aizawa, you have 3 years to become a hero. You think it's all going to be games and playtime? Idiots. Today you'll compete in 8 physical tests to gauge your potential. Whoever comes in last has none and will be expelled immediately. Students, what? Izuku, immediate expulsion? 8 tests. Oh no. I can only use one for all at either 0 or 100% right now. And I get the feeling that I can only tank 1 hit in my ranger form considering it only took 3 in Super Samurai mode. I don't have any control yet. Aizawa, like I said, I get to decide how this class runs. Understand? If that's a problem, you can head home right now. Clover, a huge test on the first day of school? Oh no. Chara, hold up. You can't send one of us home on the first day. That's not fair. Aizawa, in case you haven't noticed, the world is unfair. There are many unfair things in this world, and heroes exist for the sole purpose of counteracting that unfairness. Besides, I think that if anyone knows unfairness, it's Izuku. Students, huh? Aizawa, did you forget what he said in his introduction? Izuku said that his quirk only recently manifested. Izuku, when was the first time you used your quirk? Izuku, the entrance exam. Aizawa, which explains why you turned back to normal after destroying the robot. You have no control over it since you only got it about a few weeks ago. Izuku looked down and nodded. Aizawa, it's not your fault, kid. Personally, before today, I thought you were just being reckless. But I know better now. However, the main point is that he was misdiagnosed as quirkless. How many quirkless people have you encountered? Everyone thought about it and realized they didn't know anyone quirkless. Aizawa, exactly. That's because the quirkless are treated like second-class citizens. I've seen my fair share of quirkless people. Most of them gave up on their dreams and isolated themselves from society so they could be safe from discrimination. I get the feeling that Izuku was treated the same way. Am I right, Izuku? Izuku. Yeah. Aizawa, which means you definitely know how unfair this world is. For that, I commend you. Kaneko, Izuku. What happened? Aizawa, if you want to be a pro, you're going to have to push yourself to the brink. For the next 3 years, UA will throw one terrible hardship after another at you. So go beyond. Plus Ultra style. Show me it's no mistake that you're here. Now, let the games begin. Test 150-meter dash. The first match was Weiss versus Nezuko. Weiss was able to beat Nezuko with her glyphs to skate at a high speed. The second match was Ochiko against Kami. Ochiko lightened up her clothes, but Kami made an illusion to make her think that the goal was closer than it actually was and realized too late that she was being tricked. The third match was Ruby against Toru. Toru won, but only by 0.3 seconds. The third match was Izuku against Katsuki. Katsuki, may the best ranger win. Izuku nodded. Izuku's morpher then changed too, and Katsuki's morpher transformed into Izuku Dino Thunder. Power up. Huh. Katsuki, RPM, getting gear. Izuku, Tyranno Power. Dino Thunder Red Ranger. Katsuki, RPM Red Ranger. The two take off at incredible speed. Izuku was able to win, but Katsuki came very close. Katsuki, damn it. I lost. Izuku, good try, Kakin. Katsuki, thanks, nerd. The fourth match was of Clover against Kaneko. Kaneko, so what form are you going to use, Clover? Clover, I'm glad you asked. His morpher then became Clover, Samurai Morpher. Gold Power. Clover, Gold Samurai Ranger ready. Kaneko didn't stand a chance. Clover's speed was faster than the eye could see. The remaining matches didn't have much going on. Just simple running. So let's move on to the next test. The Grip Strength Test. Izuku transformed into the Red Jungle Fury Ranger, while Katsuki became the Blue and Clover became the Yellow Ranger. Male version of Jungle Fury Yellow Ranger suit. With Jungle Master Mode, they were able to destroy the Gripper. Although not as quickly as Toru, who became a dragon and smashed it instantly. The third test was standing long jumps. However, the boys had to refrain from morphing in order to conserve energy for the rest of the tests. Luckily, they still had their natural ranger abilities and were able to jump pretty far. Kami did the worst of everyone else while Katsuki did the best at it. The fourth test was the ball throw. Since Izuku already did it, it wasn't necessary to do it again. Katsuki managed to get over 700 meters, while Clover blasted the ball into space. Toru did the same thing. Ochako got infinity as well since she made the ball weightless. Chara threw her ball and then impaled it with a high-speeding knife that sent it flying over 500 meters. Stella used the blunt part of her sword and swung it like a bat to knock it far away. Kaneko simply threw it, but it got a better score than Chara's. Betty was able to launch the ball over 600 meters thanks to her incredible soul power. And Nezuko was able to launch it about 450 meters. Everyone else got average scores. The rest of the tests were simple and didn't involve quirks. Although the side-to-side steps were something that Blake was able to do very well thanks to her shadow clones. At the end, Kami had gotten last place but Aizawa, and I was lying. No one's getting expelled. Just wanted to make sure you gave it your all. Students, what? Lily, you didn't know? Aizawa doesn't have the authority to do that, you know. Everyone's sweat dropped. Aizawa, all right. We're done for today. Pick up a syllabus in the classroom. Read it over before tomorrow morning. And so ended their first day of UA. Although on the way home. Blake. Hey, Kaneko, was it? Kaneko, yeah? Blake. You acted weird while looking at Izuku. Is there a reason behind that? Kaneko, you really want to know? Blake, I do. Kaneko, fine. When we were little kids, we were friends. I first met Clover when I lost track of my big sister, and he helped me out. That's when we became friends. A week after that, he introduced me to Izuku. And I kinda, well, Blake, fell in love with him? Kaneko blushed. Kaneko, how did you? Blake, I'm not dense, Kaneko. But there's something that doesn't add up. If what you're saying is true, why didn't they recognize you? Kaneko, well, one day, I lost control of my quirk and attacked them. I nearly caused lasting damage on them before I was able to regain control. After that, I erased their memories of me. That was the last I saw them. Until today. Blake, I see. But how come you didn't recognize them at first either? Kaneko, give me a break, Blake. I haven't seen them in 10 years. It's not like I could have recognized their voices or something. But when Kakin and Clover mentioned how Izuku was handling being in a classroom where they were the only boys, I knew it was him immediately. Blake, so what will you do about this? Kaneko, I don't know just yet. I'm hoping to figure it out soon. But it's nice to know that Izuku is still the same cheerful boy he's always been. After that, they went their separate ways home. It was the next day. Despite being a hero school, UA is still a school. So there were regular classes. And just like normal school, those classes were very boring. So let's skip to the good part. All Might. I am here. All Might. Coming through the door like a hero. All the students were freaking out that All Might, the #1 pro hero, is their hero basic training teacher. Ruby, it's All Might. He's here. Weiss rolled her eyes, but secretly, she was just as excited. Blake, isn't that his Silver Age costume? Ryuko, talk about going old school. All Might. Welcome to the most important class at UA High. Think of it as Hero ING 101. Here, you will learn the basics of being a pro and what it means to fight in the name of good. Let's get into it. Today's lesson will pull no punches. It's battle training. Ryuko, yes. All Might. But one of the keys of being a hero is looking good. He points to a wall that opens and shows suitcases. All Might. These were designed for you based on your Quirk registration forms and the request you sent in before school started. Get yourselves suited up and then meet me at Training Ground Beta. Students, yes sir. Time skip to the training grounds. The students were walking to All Might, having put on their hero costumes. All Might. They say that clothes make the pros, young ladies and gentlemen, and behold, you are the proof. Take this to heart. From now on you are all heroes in training. For their hero outfits, RWBY have their original hunter outfits on. Chara is wearing a green hoodie, so think Story Shift Chara. Kami is wearing her canon hero outfit. So is Achiko. Nezuko is wearing a kimono from the Taisho era. Betty is wearing a sweatshirt that is pink and purple. Toru is wearing her maid outfit. Stella is wearing a red bodysuit with decorative flames around it. Ryuko is wearing the same outfit as the picture from 2 chapters ago. So is Raftalia. Kaneko is wearing a white kimono. Toga is wearing a suit that's similar to Vlad King's. Lily was wearing an outfit that resembles a shiny Nihilego. Zelda was wearing her ceremonial robes. Clover was wearing his cowboy outfit. Katsuki's outfit was the same as in canon. And Izuku's was pretty basic. It was mostly casual clothes. It was the jacket he was wearing that was different. It was a black jacket with the Power Rangers logo on the back. All Might. This is getting me all revved up. You look so cool. Now, shall we get started, you bunch of newbies? It's time for combat training. Why, sir? This is the fake city from our entrance exam. Are we doing urban battles again? All Might. Not quite. I'm going to move you 2 steps ahead. Most of the villain fights you see on the news take place outside. However, statistically speaking, run-ins with the most dastardly evildoers take place indoors. Think about it. Backroom deals, home invasions, secret underground lairs. Truly intelligent criminals stay hidden in the shadows. For this training exercise, you'll be split into teams of good guys and bad guys and fight 2-on-2 indoor battles. Zelda, don't you think this is a bit advanced? All Might. The best training is what you get on the battlefield. But remember, you can't just punch a robot this time. You're dealing with actual people now. Blake. Sir, will you be the one deciding who wins? Katsuki. How much can we hurt the other team? Achiko. Do we need to worry about the losers getting expelled like earlier? Weiss. How will you be splitting us up? Yang. Do you think boys would like this getup? All Might. I wasn't finished talking. And what does that last one have to do with this exercise? Listen up. He opened. Clover, seriously? A script? He can't even remember. All Might. The situation is this. The villains have a nuclear missile somewhere in their hideout. The heroes must try to foil their plans. To do that, the good guys either have to catch the evildoers or recover the weapon. Likewise, the bad guys succeed if they protect the bomb or capture the heroes. Time's limited, and we'll choose teams by drawing lots. Why, seriously? Izuku. Makes sense to me. Pros often have to team up with heroes from other agencies on the spot, so maybe that's the reason we're seeing that here. Weiss, you do make a good point. All Might now? Let's draw. Team A, Chara and Raftalia. Team B, Toru and Izuku. Team C, Katsuki and Kami. Team D, Ryuko and Lily. Team E, Blake and Stella. Team F, Ruby and Clover. Team G, Betty and Nezuko. Team H, Weiss and Yang. Team I, Achiko and Kaneko. Team J, Zelda and Toga. Toru, wow. Looks like we're a team. Toru was getting very close to Izuku, and he was blushing bright red. Izuku, yeah? Please back up a bit. Toru smiled and stepped back. Stella, Achiko, and Kaneko were watching with jealous looks. This didn't go unnoticed by Chara, Clover, and Katsuki. They all had evil smirks on their faces. All Might. I declare that the first team's TO fight will be these guys. He pulled out 2 orbs. One in a black box that said villain, and one in a white box that said hero. The one he pulled from the black box had the letter I on it, and the one he pulled from the white box said J. All Might. Team J will be the heroes. Team I will be the villains. Everyone else can head to the monitoring room to watch. Students, yes sir. Time skip to the start of the match. Zelda and Toga were in front of the building. Zelda? So Toga, are you able to use the quirks of those you transform into? Toga, I never tried it. It's possible, but we have to take this as the real thing. Not a test run. Zelda, you make a fair point. Meanwhile with Achiko and Kaneko. Achiko, so this is the weapon, huh? Kaneko, it's fake. We have to focus on our plan. Achiko, what plan? Kaneko, my quirk gives me incredible strength, so it would be wise for me to take them on myself. You should defend the bomb. Achiko, sounds like a plan. Kaneko, one other thing. Considering what Toga said about her quirk, she might use it to impersonate me. If that happens, tell her this. 2 minutes later. All Might. Heroes begin. With that, Zelda and Toga rushed into the building. Zelda, so what do you know about Nakomata? Toga, honestly, not much. Something to do with flames, I think. Just then, Kaneko showed up out of nowhere and punched them both in the face. In the monitoring room. Clover, what the heck? Where's the justice in a sneak attack? Katsuki, did you forget she's one of the villains? Besides, sneak attacks are acceptable for heroes as well. Izuku, he's right. Getting the drop on your opponent is a great strategy. Clover, oh, back at the building. Kaneko, you heroes were foolish to come here. Now face the wrath of the Nakomata. She suddenly lights her fists on fire. In the monitoring room, Izuku and Clover were holding their heads. Katsuki, hey, are you two alright? Izuku, yeah? It's just that something about this feels familiar. Clover, you too, huh? Blake noticed this and put her hand on her chin. Blake, could they be remembering her? Back to the fight. Zelda, so Toga was right. Nakomata used flames. Kaneko, wrong. It's Senjutsu. It gives me control over the flow of ki. Toga, what is this? DBZ. Disclaimer, I have never seen Dragon Ball. Kaneko deadpants and rushed at them again. She tried to punch them, but Zelda blocked it with a light shield. Toga seized this opportunity to jam an injector into her shoulder and take some of her vital fluid. Zelda, go? Now. Toga rushed off and Zelda smirked. Zelda, looks like you lost now. Kaneko rammed her knee into Zelda's stomach before head-butting her and wrapping the capture tape around her. Kaneko, I don't think so. I had a feeling this would happen. All Might. Zelda is captured. The hero team loses a member. Zelda, what do you mean by that? Kaneko smirks a bit. With Achiko. Achiko was waiting around in case Kaneko would come back. She then walked in. Kaneko, hey Achiko. Toga ran off. We need to be careful. Achiko, I agree with you. Your little sister, Kuroka, would want that, right? Kaneko, yeah, she would. Achiko put her hand on Kaneko's shoulder. Achiko, I got your back. Kaneko smiled. But then Achiko's quirk activated, and she was now floating helplessly in the air. Kaneko, Achiko, what are you? Achiko, nice try, Toga. Kaneko doesn't have a little sister named Kuroka. Kuroka is her older sister. Toga's eyes widened as the real Kaneko came in. In the monitoring room. All Might. That was a clever move. Back in the fight. Kaneko, I knew something like this would happen, so I came up with a plan. A disguise is only useful if you know everything about the one you disguise as. Achiko then put the capture tape on Toga. All Might. Toga has been captured. The villain team wins. Time skip to reviewing the match. All Might. Now, the MVP of this match is young Tujo. Nezuko. Makes sense since the villains won. All Might. That isn't why young Tujo was the MVP. Young Tujo came up with a clever plan for this match. She knew what young Toga's quirk could do, so she came up with a trick to expose if she was the real Tujo or not. While young Uraraka managed to put that plan into action, she was the one who followed it instead of made it. That is why young Tujo was MVP. Kaneko bowed and thanked him. All Might. Now the next match will be these guys. He pulled out another 2 orbs. The black one was F and the white one was A. All Might. Team A will be the heroes. Team F will be the villains. Time skip to the start of the match. Ruby. So, Clover, how do you think this match will go? Clover, I say we both take them on. However, my quirk is a no-go on this. Ruby, how come? Clover, remember, the power of my quirk depends on how strong my sense of justice is. Since we're on the villain's side, my quirk isn't gonna work. It goes against justice. Ruby, so, you won't be able to do anything? Clover, I didn't say that. Watch and learn. Clover's morpher then became. Clover, Dino Knight morpher. Ruby, what does it do? Clover, it depends on whether or not it has one of the Dino Knight keys. Without one, it won't be as strong, but it was used by a former villain, which is what we're pretending to be. Here goes. Void armor. Clover then became. Ruby, WHOH. That's such a cool saber and shield. Clover, thanks. Ruby, what happened to your voice? Clover, don't worry about it. It's just part of the armor. All Might, begin. The team rushed down the building until they come across Chara and Raphtalia. Ruby, I'll take Chara. You take Raphtalia. Ruby then rushed at Chara with incredible speed. However, Chara was able to hold her scythe back. Clover, we didn't even come up with a plan. Clover charged at Raphtalia. She did the same. The two clashed their swords against each other. Chara was able to push Ruby back and then sent a red slash her way and hit her dead on. Clover, Ruby. Raphtalia took the chance while he was distracted to hit him with her sword. This staggered him a little before blocking her sword with his shield. Clover, I have to think of something fast. Raphtalia, first light. Raphtalia summoned a bright light that blinded everyone. Chara, Raphtalia. I can't see. Clover, but I can hear. Clover turned to the direction of Chara's voice. Clover, void slash. Clover unleashed two slashes that were in the shape of an X, and since Chara couldn't see, she couldn't find out where it was coming or if she was going to bump into anything. So she was hit by the full force attack and was now unconscious. Their vision returned not long after. All Might. Chara has been incapacitated. The hero team loses a member. Raphtalia, Chara, I'm so sorry. Ruby then appeared in front of her. Ruby, you let your guard down. She then slammed the blunt part of her scythe on Raphtalia and wrapped the capture tape around her. All Might. Raphtalia has been captured. The villain team wins. Time skip to the review. All Might. Now, Clover was the MVP here. Does anyone want to guess why? Weiss, it's simple. Clover may not have used his quirk, but considering what we know about it, the circumstances must have made it impossible. So he improvised with his ranger powers. On top of that, when Raphtalia blinded everyone with her light, Clover must have used his other senses to locate where Chara was. All Might. Exactly, young SCHNE. Now the next fight will be these guys. This time, the black orb was D and the white orb was G. All Might. Team G will be the heroes. Team D will be the villains. Time skip to the start of the match. Betty, this'll be a first. I'll be treated as the hero instead of the villain. Nezuko, you too, huh? Betty, yep. Having a murderous older sister automatically makes you the target of abusive people. But I wouldn't give in so I could prove them wrong. Nezuko, glad to hear that. Wonder what Ryuko's armor will look like. Betty, I wonder that too. Thank goodness that All Might isn't biased. Nezuko, of course not. With Ryuko and Lily. Ryuko, I sure hope the boys in our class don't stare. Lily, why would they stare? Ryuko sighs. Ryuko, you'll see. Trust me. All Might, begin. Ryuko, let's go. The two girls ran down the stairs and tried to sneak attack the hero team, but they beat the villain team to the punch. Ryuko, nice hit. Nezuko, surrender now, villains. Ryuko, never. Life fiber synchronize. Kamui Senkits. She pulls this tab on her glove and transforms and becomes. Everyone. What are you wearing? In the monitoring room. Izuku and Clover. Avert your eyes. The twins wrap their arms around each other's eyes and turn away. Katsuki, you guys are pathetic. All Might. Actually, I would have reacted the same way if I was their age. Kaneko, you haven't changed a bit, huh? Back with the fight. Ryuko, now you understand my point, Lily. Lily, yeah. How are you not embarrassed? Ryuko, doing that consumes more of my vital fluid. In fights, every second counts. And I only have so much of it. Anyways, enough staring. Let's fight. Lily, right. Nezuko sent pink flames their way. Lily, power gem. The two attacks countered each other and canceled each other out. Lily rushes towards Nezuko and uses power gem again and hits her. Ryuko ran towards Betty and attacked with her scissor blade, but Betty created a bright pink sword to counter it. However, Ryuko's strength was too much, and Betty was flung across the room. Nezuko, Betty. Lily, Iron Head. Lily's head turned to iron and slammed it onto Nezuko. Nezuko ga? That head but was almost as strong as my big brother's. Nezuko then fell unconscious. But not before wrapping capture tape around Lily's head. All Might. Nezuko has been incapacitated. The hero team loses a member. And also, Lily has been captured. The villain team loses a member. Ryuko, thanks Lily. Now to just deal with Betty. Ryuko started to run towards Betty. But then, Betty, sorry about this. Ryuko then saw something terrifying. She watched her entire family get murdered in front of her eyes. But after about 10 seconds, she snapped back to reality. All Might. Ryuko has been captured. The hero team wins. Ryuko went back to normal. Ryuko, what the hell? She looked over to see Betty in tears. Betty, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to show you all that. Please forgive me. Ryuko brought Betty into a hug. Ryuko, I'm not mad. You did what you had to do. Honestly, that was pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. Betty wiped her tears. Betty, thank you. Time skip to the review. All Might. This time, the MVP goes to Young Noir. Who would like to tell me why? Izuku's hand shot up. Izuku, I noticed that when Ryuko was running towards Betty, her eyes turned pink. Betty must have made her see something that scared her enough to make her freeze in place long enough to wrap the capture tape around her. Betty looked down. Izuku. What she did was an incredibly smart move. Using her opponent's fear to give her the necessary time to capture her is a smart move. Betty, I bet it was pretty villainous, huh? Izuku, huh? What are you talking about? Betty looked at Izuku. Izuku, just because you used your abilities to make her freeze in fear doesn't make it villainous. Look at All Might. His presence alone makes villains scared. But that doesn't make him villainous. Betty's eyes widened. Izuku, just because your sister is Bête Noire doesn't mean you are going to be just like her. I may not have known you for long, but I can tell that the only similarities between you and her are your quirks and appearances. But your personalities couldn't be more different. And the personality makes the hero, not the quirk. So no, it wasn't villainous. Not in the slightest. Betty rubbed her right arm shyly. Betty, thank you. What is this feeling? All Might. Well said, young Midoriya. Now, the next fight will be these guys. This time, the black orb was H and the white orb was B. All Might. Team B will be the heroes. Team H will be the villains. Time skip to the start of the match. Toru. So what's the plan, Izuku? Izuku, OH. Clears throat with Weiss's quirk. It will be a struggle since we don't know everything it can do. We'll need a foolproof plan. As for Yang, she absorbs kinetic energy. So, Izuku's morpher then changes into Izuku, SPD Emergency. Izuku, SPD Red Ranger. Toru, nice. So you're basically a police officer? Izuku, you're thinking a bit small, Toru. The SPD Rangers do more than just arrest robbers. I chose the red SPD Ranger because it comes with 2 guns. With them, Yang won't be able to absorb much kinetic energy. Toru, what do you mean by much? Izuku, no matter what attacks we use, they all require kinetic energy. It involves movement. So using small attacks like from blasters should be able to reduce the amount of kinetic energy she can absorb. Toru, good thinking. All Might, begin. Izuku and Toru walked inside and were met with Weiss and Yang. Yang, let's do this. Weiss, just stay out of my way. I'll take the dragon girl. Using her glyphs, she took off at great speeds. But so did Toru, and they started to fight. Yang charged at Izuku, but he made sure to keep his distance and blast Yang with his blasters. Izuku, I knew it. She may be able to absorb kinetic energy, but if she can't get close enough to land a blow on me, her quirk isn't much help. Yang, come here and fight like a man. Izuku. She also seems to be pretty hot-headed. Reminds me of Kaken. Toru and Weiss were struggling to land hits on each other. They were too fast for either of them. Yang then got a plan. Yang, if memory serves correctly, this broccoli boy struggles when it comes to girls. Hee. Hey, maybe if you come to me, I'll give you a kiss. She winks at him, but it seemed to have no effect on him. Izuku, SWAT mode. In the monitoring room. Ruby, dang it, Yang. Clover, what's up? Ruby, Yang tends to be a big flirt. I can tell she was flirting with him when she winked at him. I'm honestly kinda surprised that Izuku didn't react to it. Clover, that's because his mind is focused on the fight. When he's in a fight, he focuses on it completely and nothing can break that concentration. Not even if Ryuko suddenly did that transformation in front of him. Ryuko, never use that analogy again. Clover, with pleasure. All Might. No surprise that Izuku is doing well in this fight. He was always good at reacting quickly in a crisis. He spent years writing his notes and internalizing them. That fanboy knowledge of his is paying off. Same can be said for his brother and young Bakugo. Back to the fight. Yang. Izuku then pointed his SWAT gun at Yang. Yang, oh. As this was going on, Toru unleashed fire breath at Weiss and hit her. Toru then shot forward and wrapped the capture tape around Weiss. As for Izuku and Yang, Izuku unleashed a massive blast at Yang. Yang was on the ground, but she wasn't out and got enough kinetic energy from that blast. Yang, yes. Just need one more. Izuku, confinement mode. Yang was suddenly trapped inside. Yang, what the? All Might. Both of the villains have been captured. The hero team wins. Time skip to the review. All Might. The MVP of this match was Izuku. Who would like to tell me why? Nezuko raised her hand. Nezuko, it's because of what he learned yesterday. Yang's quirk only allows her to absorb kinetic energy. When it comes to fighting, she does this with her bare hands. Izuku knew this and kept his distance from Yang while Weiss was preoccupied fighting Toru. Had Weiss teamed up with Blake to take Izuku down, they could have won. All Might. Precisely. Now for the final match. It will be Team C as the heroes and Team E as the villains. Let's start. Time skip to the start of the match. Cammy, I'm totes excited for the match. What about you? Katsuki, hell yeah. I've been looking forward to this all day. That's why I'm doing this. It's morphin' time. Katsuki's morpher then became. Katsuki, Power Star. Lock-in. Ninja Spin. Katsuki, Power of the Ninja. Ninja Steel Red. Then, Katsuki, Lion Fire Armor. Katsuki then gained. Katsuki, out of the fire and into the fight. Lion Fire Red. Cammy, wow. That's rad. Katsuki, right it is. This is gonna be awesome. All Might, begin. The heroes rush in. They didn't find any of their foes, however. It was ticking Katsuki off until they found the bomb and saw Stella and Blake there. Blake, you heroes can use as much power as you want, but it won't work. She sent a bunch of shadow clones at them. However, Katsuki used his quirk to gain speed and slash at them. But then, Stella went right in front of him and tried to slash him. Luckily, Katsuki blocked it with his sword. Katsuki, nice try? They started to have a sword fight with neither side giving an inch. Cammy used her illusion quirk to try and confuse Blake by giving her the illusion that multiple Cammys were charging at her. But Blake's clones were easily able to find out which one was the real one. Katsuki, F it. If I don't take care of the redhead soon, we'll lose. What do? Wait, I got it. Hey, villain. Stella, HM? Katsuki, I bet you that Izuku would find you fighting me pretty hot. Stella, Katsuki, now. Taking advantage of the situation, Katsuki threw her off and wrapped the capture tape around her. All Might. Stella has been captured. The villain team loses a member. Stella, you played me. Katsuki, shamelessly. Katsuki put away his sword. Katsuki, burst speed. Using his explosions, Katsuki rushed to Blake while she was busy handling Cammy and slashed her with the blunt part of his sword, which was set aflame. She wasn't out, but Katsuki was right in front of the bomb and touched it. Katsuki, I would have loved to beat you in a one-on-one match, but I need to treat this like the real thing. All Might. The hero team wins. Time skip to the review. All Might. Now, young Bakugo was the MVP of this fight. Would anyone like to explain why? Blake, I know why. Katsuki took advantage of my focus on Cammy, so he was able to land a powerful strike on me. As for his fight with Stella, while he played a bit dirty in getting Stella to lower her guard, what he did wouldn't be considered villainous, nor would it have caused anything bad to those who would be nearby. As for what he said, I wasn't able to hear it. Katsuki, and I'll be taking that secret to my grave. Stella, good. All Might, exactly. Great job, everyone on your fights. You all performed admirably. If you feel down on your mistakes, not to worry. It's only the beginning of the year. Now, watch and learn how a pro hero exits. Lich, he's got somewhere to be. He rushed off at incredible speeds. Izuku, amazing. After that, the school day ended and everyone went home. At Betty's house. Betty's dad, Betty, you okay? You've been staring off into space since you came back. Betty, sorry, Dad. It's just, there's this strange warm feeling in my chest. It hurts a bit, but it mostly feels nice. Every time I think about this boy in my class now, my heart beats faster, my cheeks heat up, and I can't stop thinking about him. What's wrong with me? Betty's dad chuckles. Betty, Dad? Betty's dad, Betty. I know what's wrong with you. Betty, what is it? Betty's dad. Nothing. You're in love. Betty's eyes widened. Betty, love. Betty's dad. Tell me, when did you start feeling this way? Betty, well, it was after my match in heroics class. I thought that this boy, Izuku Midoriya, would think of me as villainous because of my quirk being exactly like. You know, Betty's dad, Bet. Yeah, I know. Does he know that she's your sister? Betty, the entire class does. Anyways, he said to me that even though our quirks and looks are the same, our personalities couldn't be more different. That's when I started feeling this way. Betty's dad, then it's perfectly fine. You fell for him because he knows you're a good person, and that just because you're Bet's sister doesn't make you exactly like her. You fell for his kindness. Betty, how do I stop it? Betty's dad, falling out of love with him. Betty, how do I do that? Betty's dad, that's nearly impossible. You can't do that on your own. This Midoriya kid would have to do something horrible that would rid you of your love for him. But Betty, this isn't the kind of love you're aware of. Betty, huh? Betty's dad, this kind of love isn't an acronym. It's not level of violence. It's just love. This kind of love is a good thing. It means you found someone you genuinely care for. Falling in love is a good thing, so you don't have to worry about it. Betty, promise? Betty's dad, promise. Betty, thank you. In love, huh? With Izuku. It was almost time to wake up. However, Clover was dreaming about something in his past. Clover's dream. A 5-year-old Clover was playing on the swings in the nearby park alone. But he wasn't enjoying himself. Just last week, his friend beat his brother up. Past Clover. I'm such a coward. I couldn't even protect my brother. Izuku had locked himself in his room ever since that day and wouldn't talk to anyone. Not even Clover. Past Clover. It's not fair. Izuku is a wonderful person. The best brother anyone could ever ask for. Why did he have to get the short end of the stick? Clover felt like a failure of a brother. He wanted to cheer Izuku up, but he didn't know how. That's when he heard crying. Past Clover. Is someone crying? Clover rushed to the sound of crying and saw a white-haired girl about his age with a scraped knee. Past Clover. Hey, are you okay? Unknown character. Sniff ya. But I can't find my big sister. And I scraped my knee. Past Clover, don't worry. I'll help you find your sister. Unknown character. You will? Past Clover, of course. Unknown character. Why? Past Clover. Because me and my twin brother have a dream. We want to be heroes. And what kind of hero wouldn't help someone in their time of need? Unknown character. Thank you. Past Clover, no problem. Oh, by the way, my name is Clover Midoriya. What's yours? Unknown character. I'm Chiron Tuju. It's nice to meet you. Clover grabbed Chiron's hand and helped her up. The two then left to find Chiron's sister. That's when Clover woke up. Back to the real world. Clover, NNGH. What the heck? That girl looked a lot like Kimiko. Wait, did we meet before? Time skip to when the twins arrive at school. Izuku, Clover. Why are there so many reporters here? The two were then bombarded with questions from the reporters. Clover. Hey, I know you all want to get answers out of us, and all, but guys look an alien. Reporters, where? They turned around, which gave the two brothers the opportunity to flee. Reporter. I can't believe we fell for that. In the classroom. Katsuki, you guys okay? Izuku, yeah? We were able to distract them. To get inside. Katsuki, those reporters are such a hassle. Clover was deep in thought, however. He was a good distance away from his ranger friends, so no one would hear him mumbling his thoughts. Clover. This Chiron girl looked a lot like Kaneko, but it didn't feel like a dream. It felt familiar. Did I meet Kaneko in the past? If I did, why can't I remember her? I remember playing on the swings at that time, but I don't remember meeting her back then. Could it be that my memories were altered? And if that's the case, is the same thing said for Izuku and Kaken? Maybe. It would explain the way she stared at Izuku and mutter. Aizawa then walked in. Aizawa, all right class. Sit down. The class sat down. Aizawa, good job on your battles. But as of right now, you need to pick a class representative. The class then went into an uproar of people wanting to be class rep. They eventually decided on a vote. In the end, Izuku ended up winning with 3 votes, and Weiss won vice rep with 2. Izuku, how did I get 3 votes? Katsuki, so, who else voted for him? Clover, me. Who did you vote for, Izuku? Izuku, I voted for you. Katsuki, wonder who else voted for you. Clover looked over to see Kaneko with a small smile. Clover, I guess it was her. Aizawa, okay. So it's Izuku and Shni as your class rep and vice rep. Time skip to lunch. Izuku, why did you 2 vote for me? Katsuki, Izuku, you're our leader. Of course we'd vote for you. He then noticed Clover staring off into space. Katsuki, Clover. Clover, huh? Izuku, you've been like that all day? What's going on? Clover, truth be told, I'm not completely sure. Maybe. That's when an alarm sounded off saying that there's a level 3 security breach. Katsuki, the hell's a level 3 security breach? 3rd year student. It means someone is trespassing on school grounds. This has never happened in my 3 years. Hurry. The Rangers rushed to try and get the exit, but it was incredibly crowded. Izuku was pushed to a window and saw that it was just the media. He tried to calm everyone down, but no one heard him. Then he got an idea. Izuku's morpher became Izuku, Ninja Storm, Ranger form. Huh. Izuku, power of water. Izuku then brought out. Izuku then shouted into the sonic fin. Izuku, everyone stop. They all turned to his direction. Izuku, it's okay, everyone. It's just the media outside. There's nothing to worry about. We came here to be heroes. So we can handle this. Weiss, he certainly seems to be taking his role seriously. The next day, Aizawa, for today's hero course, we will be doing something different. We will be going to the USJ. Ruby, Universal Studios Japan? Zelda, no. It's the unforeseen simulation joint. It's a place with built-in environments that heroes may encounter while trying to rescue people. Aizawa, exactly. Now let's go. And so, the class left for the USJ. There, they met 13, who gave them a rundown on what was going to happen and about how deadly quirks can be. But that's when a purple portal appeared. And out came a bunch of villains. The ones who stood out the most were Lily. Wait, are they supposed to be here? Aizawa, no. They aren't. Stay back. Those are real villains. Hirojiri. The only real heroes I see are 13 and Eraserhead. Perplexing. According to the schedule we retrieved from UA, All Might should be here as well. Aizawa. So you scumbags used the press as a cover and sneaked onto campus. Tamura. Where is he? I went through the trouble of bringing so many friends who were eager to meet him. They want All Might. The great symbol of peace. I can't believe he's not here. Maybe if I kill a few kids, he'll come out to play. Zelda. How did they all get into UA in the first place? Lily. 13. Why aren't the alarms going off? 13. I'm not sure. Blake. Do you think the entire campus is under attack? Or is it just here? Either way, one of the villains must be behind it. They chose this isolated facility as an entrance point at a time when we as a class were being taught. They seem to have thought this out. The only question is, what's their plan? Aizawa. 13. Get them out of here. Alert the main campus as well. Actually, if they've got the ability to block our sensors, then they might be jamming our regular communications, too. Izuku, what are you gonna do? You can't fight them on your own. There's too many of them. Even if you can nullify their quirks, your fighting style's not suited for this. Your power works best in stealth and one-on-one fights. That's not gonna help with a group. Aizawa, you can't be a pro if you only have one trick. I'll leave it to you. 13. Aizawa then jumps down the stairs. Finger gun, shooting squad. Take your aim. Needle hair. Didn't our intel say it was just gonna be 13 and All Might out here? Who's that? Shooting squad B. Don't recognize him. But if he thinks he can take us down easy, he's dead. Shooting squad. Let's gun him down. Aizawa then activated his quirk and the shooting squad's quirks wouldn't work. Finger gun, my quirk. Shooting squad B. Where are my bullets? The 3 thugs were then wrapped up by Aizawa's binding cloth and villain, idiots. That's Eraserhead. A pro. He can cancel your quirks just by looking at you. Steel bulwark. Cancellation? Bet you can't erase the quirk of a mutant type like me. Aizawa. Yeah, you're right. I can't. He dodges a punch from Steel Bulwark and punches him in the face. Aizawa. But a villain like you is only dangerous if you can reach me. Aizawa then flings Steel Bulwark across the area. Aizawa. Good thing I've taken precautions to make sure that doesn't happen. Aizawa. Now, which one of you gutter punks is next? Tamura. There he goes, trying to intimidate us. He is strong, and since he's hiding behind those goggles, you can't tell whose quirk he's erasing. He's making it hard for us to work together or rely on each other's powers. Aizawa kicks 2 villains and knocks them out. Tamura, how annoying. The worst thing about dealing with pros is when they live up to all their hype. While the class was fleeing, Izuku and Clover were still watching. Clover, well, Izuku, he's holding them off. I guess I shouldn't have underestimated him. Katsuki, come on, nerds. We need to go. Izuku and Clover nodded and joined them. Unfortunately, Kirojiri showed up right in front of the exit. Or is it entrance? Whatever. You get what I mean. Kirojiri, there is no escape for you. Aizawa. I blinked, and the guy who seems like the most trouble got away. He tried to get to his class, but the villains surrounded him and prevented him from reaching them. Kirojiri, it's a pleasure to meet you. We are the League of Villains. I know it's impolite, but we decided to invite ourselves into this haven of justice to say hello. Ruby, hi. Kirojiri, hello. And besides, isn't this a fitting place for All Might, the symbol of peace, to take his last breath? Chara, that reminds me of something. Take 2. Sorry. Kirojiri, I believe he was supposed to be here today, and yet I see no sign of him. There must have been some sort of change in plans we could not have foreseen. Well, in the end, I suppose it doesn't matter. I still have a role to play. 13 was about to use her quirk, but Katsuki and Ryuko rushed in recklessly and attacked. Ryuko, like hell we're letting you tear this place apart. Unfortunately, the attacks had no effect on Kirojiri. Kirojiri, you live up to your school's reputation. But you should be more careful, children. Otherwise, someone might get hurt. 13, get out of the way. Kirojiri, I'll scatter you across this facility to meet my comrades, and your deaths. He then warped a good majority of the students to different areas of the USJ. Only Ruby, Achiko, Blake, Toga, Nezuko, and Yang were able to escape. Izuku ended up in the flood area of the USJ as he fell into the water. Izuku, he must have a warping quirk. They came here to kill All Might. I guess it's a good thing he's not here in class right now. But where is he? He then saw Kaneko, who was about to be harmed by a half-fish villain. Izuku, oh no. He then clamped his mouth because there's no air. So he had to think fast. He had to morph. Even underwater, the morpher will work. But he could only make one choice. He had to act fast. Luckily, he knew what ranger would work in this situation. His morpher then transformed into Izuku, Link to Morphin Grid. Izuku, Mosa Fury, Gold Ranger, Dino Fury Power. Izuku then took aim at the villain and shot. High with his blaster. Izuku, Mosa Blast. Half-fish villain, GH. Taking this opportunity, he swam towards Kaneko at an incredibly fast pace thanks to his Mosa powers. He grabbed her and rushed to the boat and jumped onto it. As it turns out, Chara was also there. Chara, glad you guys are okay. Kaneko, I almost died. I wouldn't call that okay. Izuku then demorphed and coughed up some water. Chara, you alright? Izuku, yeah? Unfortunately, for me to morph, I have to yell out the morphing sequence. So I swallowed a lot of water. He started coughing up more water as Kaneko patted him on the back. Kaneko, thanks for saving me. Izuku turned to her and smiled. Izuku, I'm just glad you're not hurt. Kaneko blushed slightly at seeing Izuku's smile. Chara, this is turning out to be a really bad time. Kaneko, agreed. Izuku, I keep thinking about what that villain said. They knew our whole schedule and who would be here. They must have gotten into school files while we were all stuck in the cafeteria. The teachers were busy trying to get the media off school grounds. Kaneko, wait. Do you mean? Izuku, yeah? They've been waiting for the perfect time to attack. Just like Blake said. Chara, you have a point. But what makes these guys think they can kill All Might? Kaneko, no one's dumb enough to just try and kill All Might straight up. I doubt these villains are going to just charge at him. They must have a plan to kill All Might. Unless they're masochists. But I highly doubt that's the case. But we should be more focused on our own well-being at the moment. Otherwise, we might not even be able to see All Might. Chara, I see your point. And even if All Might does show up, who knows if he'll make it out in one piece. That's when they noticed that they were surrounded by a bunch of villains. Izuku. Kaneko might be right. If they're here for All Might, they might have a way of beating him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have planned an attack. But out of all heroes, why is he the one being targeted? Because his very existence discourages villains and evil? Because he's the symbol of peace? Wait, it doesn't matter. I have to focus. I have to face this evil head-on. If they can beat him, then we have to stop whatever it is these bad guys are planning. We have to work together and keep All Might safe. No one at UA knows what's happening. This is up to us. Let's be heroes. Landslide zone. Weiss had frozen a bunch of villains with her glyphs. Weiss, you should be ashamed of yourselves for losing to kids. Collapse zone. Katsuki, it's morphin time. Katsuki's morpher became. Katsuki, activate beast powers. Huh. I couldn't find a full morph sequence GIF or video that didn't involve the other rangers. Katsuki rushed towards one of the villains and used his gorilla strength to punch him. But he also used his quirk in combination to make a powerful explosion that knocked the villain out. Mountain zone. Zelda drew her bow of light, prepared to take down the villains surrounding her, Lily and Toru. Fire zone. Stella was prepared to face off against the villain in front of her. Luckily, she was in her element. Downpour zone. Betty, Raphtalia, and Cammy were facing back-to-back with each other, ready to take on the villains surrounding them. Main area. Nezuko, do you hear anything, Blake? Blake, yes. Our classmates were scattered across the USJ, but they're still here. Toga, phew. So what now? He's not affected by physical attacks and can apparently teleport stuff. 13, Ruby. Ruby, yeah? 13, I have a job for you. Run to the school and tell the faculty what's going on here. The alarms aren't sounding, and our phones and radios are useless right now. One of these villains must be to blame. Even though Eraserhead is canceling people's quirks left and right, we're still completely sealed off from the outside world. It's likely that whoever is causing this interference hid once they were warped here. They could be anywhere. Impossible to hunt down. It'll be faster for you to run and get help than for us to find whoever's jamming everything. Ruby, but Nezuko, she's right. There are plenty of alarms outside. That's why they're keeping all of us trapped here. Toga, all you have to do is get outside and they won't follow. Blake, Ruby, out of all of us here, you're the fastest. If anyone can do it, it's you. Ochiko, I'll help you out. Ruby, everyone. All right. Ruby got into a running stance. Kirojiri, even if this is your only option, are you really foolish enough to strategize in front of your enemy? 13. It won't matter if you know what we're planning or not when I'm done with you. 13. Black hole. Flood zone. Chara, so how are we going to do this? Izuku, Those villains clearly have an advantage in the water, and assume that's where we'll fight. Kaneko, then they must have known what was inside the USJ before warping in. Izuku, yeah? But for a group of such careful planning, there's one thing that really sticks out to me. Chara, and that is? Izuku, they sent me here. Kaneko, what does that have to do with anything out of the ordinary? Izuku, it means they don't know what our quirks are. If they did, they probably would have sent me to the collapse zone rather than here. In a small area that's incredibly beat up and could collapse easily, I would have a hard time choosing my attacks. Chara, you make a good point. They also would have tried to send Katsuki here as well, but he's not here. Izuku, they probably split us up because they didn't know what we could do and planned to overpower us once we were in smaller groups. Easier to pick us off one by one. We just need to use that to our advantage. They don't know what our quirks are, so, for all they know, the three of us could be super powerful. At that point, the villain, Doziman, attacked the boat with his water control quirk. The ship was now starting to sink. Izuku, wait. Now's our chance. We can beat them. Izuku's morpher then became a Beast X morpher. Izuku, it's morphin time. Activate beast power. Huh. Izuku, unleash the beast. Izuku grabbed Chara and Kaneko, and then, using the Yellow Ranger's jackrabbit DNA, he jumped very high towards shore. But not before doing one thing. Izuku, Delaware Smash. With the added boost in the air done by One for All's Delaware Smash, they were able to go even farther and make it to land while the villains were knocked unconscious because they were dragged into the center and the water was rushed to the middle and caused an extreme amount of pressure powerful enough to knock them out. Kaneko looked at the now demorphed Izuku in awe. Kaneko, Izuku, I guess you've changed quite a bit. You're much more confident now. Chara, great job everyone. Izuku, can't believe we managed to get all of them at once. It took everything I had to keep my composure. It was such a gamble. What if they'd had reserves underwater that we didn't know about? They couldn't mutter. Kaneko, some things never change. Chara, you're creeping me out, Izuku. Izuku, oh. Sorry. Chara, you're good. But instead of second-guessing what we already did, we should probably be thinking about our next move. Izuku, right. If we follow the shore to the exit, then we can avoid the central plaza entirely. Kaneko, good thinking. That way, we won't run the risk of fighting any of the villains that Mr. Aizawa is facing. Izuku, yeah. But can he handle them on his own? No matter how strong he is, he has his own limits. If he doesn't get some backup, he'll end up overexerting himself. He'll end up defeated by those villains. Chara, hold on. You're not suggesting. Izuku, I'm not saying we should just jump into the middle of the battle. But maybe we can find a way to take a few of those guys out and lighten his load. Landslide zone. Clover, so the plan was to scatter and then kill us. Weiss scoffed. Weiss, you were so unprepared. It doesn't even look like you had any training whatsoever. All the villains the two encountered were mostly frozen. The villains were all incredibly surprised by Weiss' quirk. Weiss, I'm going to ask you all this once. How do you plan to kill All Might? You should know, if you stay frozen, your cells will slowly die as your body will succumb to both frostbite and hypothermia. However, I want to be a hero, and since Clover, a Power Ranger, is here, he can keep that from happening. But if you want him to do that, Clover, then you best tell us how you plan to kill All Might. The villains told them everything. Villain, so please. Unfreeze us. Clover, you made the right choice. Clover's morpher then became Clover, magical source. Mystic force. Clover, fearsome as fire. Red Mystic Ranger. Clover then used his magic and created a flame that melted the ice around them. But then he used more magic to put them all to sleep. Clover, power down. Weiss, that takes care of that. Let's go. But as she walked, she noticed Clover was staring off into space again. Weiss, Clover, what's with you? Clover, huh? Weiss, you've been staring off into space ever since yesterday. What's going on? Clover. Weiss, please, just tell me. Maybe I can help. Clover sighed. Clover, fine. I'll tell you. Clover then told Weiss about his dream from 2 nights ago. Weiss, I see. It all makes sense to me now. I wonder, do you think Kaneko put a spell on you? Clover, is that even a thing? Weiss, Clover, we live in a society where 80% of the world has superpowers. It shouldn't be a surprise. Clover, you make a good point. Weiss, I guess if what I'm saying is correct, then you'll be like this until the spell is broken. If it will ever be broken, that is. Clover, I got it. Weiss, huh? Clover's morpher then became the Mosa Fury Morpher. Weiss, what are you planning to do with that? The villains are knocked out. Clover, I'm not using this for any of the villains. He then took out Clover, Light Dino Key. He put the key in his morpher and pulled the muzzle 4 times. Weiss, what are you about to do? Clover, I'm going to shoot myself with it. Weiss, what? Clover, let me explain. What I put in my morpher was a booster key. There are many. This is the Light Dino Key. It gives the user light abilities, but it also has the ability to break spells. Weiss, it does. Clover, yeah? If Kaneko or Chiron, I don't know. I'm still confused. If she really did put a spell on me, blasting myself with this will break the spell. I really hope it's a spell, because I have been a mess figuring this out. Weiss, are you sure about this? Clover, I'm not the first human to get hit by it. I'll be fine. Weiss, then go on ahead. Clover nodded, pointed the blaster at himself, and blasted himself. And he remembered everything. He looked down, his hat shadowing his eyes, but tears were coming from them. Weiss, Clover? Clover, it all makes sense now. You were right, Weiss. It was a spell. I remember everything. Weiss, do you want to talk to me about it? Clover nodded. Clover, first thing I need to say is that Kaneko isn't her real name. It's Chiron. Weiss, I see. Clover, about a week before Chiron and I met, it was a terrible day. You see, after Kaken got his quirk, he was praised for it constantly, and it gave him a major ego. He started to bully Izuku because of his misdiagnosis of being quirkless. One day, he went too far and nearly caused permanent damage to Izuku with his quirk, and all I could do was watch. But when he attacked Izuku and saw his injured face, he looked horrified. But I was too angry and punched him in the face. I then told him, "What is your problem, Bakugo? How could you do that to him? I hate you." After that, I took Izuku and left for home. Weiss, go on. Clover. After that day, Izuku locked himself in his room. He wouldn't come out for anything but eating. He wouldn't talk to anyone, not even me. After a week, I decided to go to the playground. The following events were of my dream. Weiss, what happened next? Clover. Well, I helped Chiron find her sister, Kuroka. After that, we started hanging out a lot more often. After about a week, Izuku was finally ready to come out of his room. So I decided to introduce him to Chiron. He was shy about talking to a girl that wasn't mom, but he got used to it eventually. After a few weeks, we were able to make up with Kakin, who has never really forgiven himself. The four of us were great friends. Weiss. But why would Ko no, Chiron, erase your memories of her? Clover. About a year after we met, she lost control of her quirk and caused a lot of harm to us unwillingly. She was in a sort of feral state. We were knocked out, and then we never saw her again. Until UA. I guess she didn't want us to feel traumatized of her, so she got rid of any and all memories of her and Kuroka. Tears continued to flow from Clover's eyes. Clover, I wish she didn't do that. We could have helped her control her powers. Why? Weiss, how old were you when this happened? Clover, 6. Weiss, then she clearly wouldn't have known any better. Besides, the past is something that can haunt you forever. You said it yourself that Katsuki still hasn't forgiven himself for what he did. It's likely that Chiron feels the same way. It would be best to tell her that you forgive her. But first, you need to break the spell on Izuku and Katsuki as well. Clover, right. Anyway, we wasted enough time. Let's go? And with that, they rushed to the main area. Mountain area. The three were able to fend off the villains. Although, Lily seemed to struggle a bit. Thankfully, Toru and Zelda had her back, so they were able to handle the villains. One villain tried to sneak up on them, but Toru was able to sense him and dug him out. Toru, let's go. Zelda and Lily, right. They then left for the main area. Main area. Izuku, Chara, and Kaneko had arrived to see how the fight was going. Thankfully, it was going pretty well. But then Tamura started to rush at Aizawa. Tamura. First, it was 23 seconds. Aizawa, final boss. He throws his binding cloth at Tamura, but he grabs it and continues to rush at him. Tamura. Then it was 24 seconds. They both charged at each other. Tamura. And then 20. And then 17. Aizawa then delivered a powerful elbow blow to Tamura's stomach. Or so he thought. As it turns out, Tamura caught his elbow. Tamura. It was hard to see when you were jumping around. But I found your tell. It's your hair. Aizawa's eyes widened in shock. Tamura. When it drops, it means you've stopped using your quirk. He started to decay Aizawa's elbow. Tamura. You're having to blink more often. Izuku, Kaneko, and Chara's eyes widened in shock at what they were witnessing. Tamura. Don't push yourself too hard now. You might just fall apart. Wouldn't that be a shame? Acting fast, Aizawa punched Tamura with his other hand and put some distance between the two. Aizawa, he destroyed my elbow. He was forced to fight more villains while running on fumes and a destroyed elbow. Tamura, that annoying quirk of yours isn't suited for drawn-out fights against big groups, is it? Don't you think you're a little out of your element here, Eraserhead? You're much better at working stealthily. You're known for surprise attacks, not fighting head-to-head. But despite knowing that, you didn't hesitate to jump into the middle of this fight, to put your students at ease. Aizawa kept on fighting before facing Tamura again. Tamura, and look at you, you're still standing. You really are so cool. But then, Tamura. Oh, by the way, hero. Aizawa turned around and was met with Nomu. Tamura, I'm not the final boss. Nomu then attacked Aizawa. Brutally. At the entrance. Kirojairia. Black hole. The quirk that sucks up matter and turns it to dust. Such an astounding power. However, you're a rescue hero, 13, skilled at saving people from disasters. Consequently, that means you have little fighting experience or battlefield awareness. As he said that, he made a warp gate in front of him and behind. 13, causing her own quirk to be used against her. Kirojairi, how unfortunate. You've turned yourself into dust. 13 then fell down. She was still alive, but heavily injured and unconscious. Yang, 13. Blake, Ruby, go. Now. Ruby gritted her teeth and took off with her petal burst quirk. Kirojairi tried to use his warp gate quirk on her, but Blake's shadow clone grabbed Kirojairi's warp gate in time. Kirojairi tried to go after Ruby, but Achiko took notice of a metal brace on his neck. Collapse zone. Ryuko, say goodbye. She knocked two villains out with her scissor blade, while Katsuki knocked a villain out with his gorilla strength. Katsuki, think that's the last of these guys. Power down. Katsuki then demorphed. Katsuki, we need to take care of that mist guy. He's their way in and out. Their escape route. Then, without even looking, he grabbed a camouflaged villain's head and gave it a taste of his quirk. Katsuki, the others will be fine if these are the majority of the villains we're dealing with. Especially Izuku and Clover. Ryuko, badass. They left for the main area. Fire zone. Stella was easily able to handle the villains in her area. Fire was totally her element. Downpour zone. The villains were in a living nightmare. The combined efforts of Betty, Raphtalia, and Cammy were able to transform the downpour zone into a nightmare zone. So getting by them was easy. Entrance. Ochako grabbed onto Kurogiri's metal neck brace and lifted him in the air. Ochako. I don't know what his quirk is, but he's wearing some weird armor. So he must have a physical body inside here somewhere. She tossed him into the air. Ochako now? Run, Ruby. Run. Ruby made it to the door and escaped. Kurogiri. She's going to call for backup. It's over. Main area. Nomu was snapping Aizawa's bones like twigs. Tamura. You can erase people's powers. That's irritating, but it's nothing impressive. When faced with true, devastating power, you might as well be a quirkless child. Aizawa erased the Nomu's quirk, but his pure strength was still there. That's when Kurogiri appeared. Kurogiri, Tamura Shigaraki. Tamura. Kurogiri, did you manage to kill 13? Kurogiri, the rescue hero, is out of commission. But there were students I wasn't able to disperse, and one of them got out of the facility. Tamura, what? Kurogiri, you fool. If you weren't our warp gate, I'd tear apart every last atom in your body. There's no way we can win if dozens of pros show up to stop us. It's game over. Back to the title screen. And I was looking forward to finishing this today. F it. Let's go home. Chara, what? They're leaving? Just like that? Kaneko, yeah. But I've got a bad feeling about this. Izuku, you're right. Tamura. Oh, before we leave, let's make sure the symbol of peace is broken. Let's wreck his pride. In an instant, he was right in front of Izuku, Kaneko, and Chara, and he reached towards Kaneko. As if it was in slow motion, Izuku knew that if he grabbed her, she would be nothing but dust. But just before he grabbed her face, Tamura, you really are so cool. Erase her head. Aizawa was using the last of his strength to protect Kaneko with his quirk, but Nomu slammed his head to the ground and knocked him out. Acting out of impulse, Izuku started to use one for all in his arm. Izuku, you. Let Chiron go now. Smash. He punched Tamura as hard as he can. But what he said caught up with him. Izuku, wait. Chiron. Why did I say Chiron? I was trying to say Kaneko. Izuku also noticed that his arm was completely fine, but he was more focused on why he called Kaneko Chiron. That is, until he saw Nomu right in front of him. Izuku, oh no. Tamura, smash? Are you one of All Might's disciples? Doesn't matter. I'm done with you now. Nomu grabbed Izuku, and Kaneko tried to reach him. But Tamura was about to turn her and Chara into dust. But then, wires came out of nowhere and latched onto Kaneko and Chara and pulled them away from Tamura and brought behind Izuku. Tamura, what? Then, more wires came in and they latched onto Nomu's hand and forced it open, releasing Izuku. Tamura, what's happening? Unknown character. What's happening is that we arrived just in time. They all turned to where the voice was coming from and saw two individuals. Tamura, who the hell are you two? Unknown character. I'm. Unknown character. Gadget the Wolf. Unknown character. And I'm. Unknown character. Maria the Hedgehog. Gadget and Maria. And we're here to stop you. Tamura, stop me? This here is a creature designed to defeat All Might himself. How do you plan to defeat him? Gadget, this is how. Gadget and Maria brought out. Izuku's eyes widened. Izuku, those are. Morphers. Gadget and Maria, magical source. Mystic force. The two then morphed into. Gadget, wolf warrior. Maria, flurry of snow. White mystic ranger. Gadget, ready Maria? Maria, ready Gadget. The two then rushed at the Nomu, ready to fight. Everyone watching was in shock. Two more Power Rangers? Wasn't Izuku, Katsuki, and Clover the only ones? Whatever the case, the wolf and hedgehog weren't going to hold back. Nomu tried to punch Gadget, but he blocked it with his shield of fire before Maria created snow gauntlets and punched Nomu in the face. But it seemed to have no effect on it. Gadget, oh. Nomu tried to land a hit on Maria, but she created a shield of ice to save herself. The two then jumped back. Tamura, good luck trying to harm Nomu. He has shock absorption. The only way to defeat him is if you slowly gouge out his flesh. Of course, I doubt he'd just let you do that. Maria, I see. So it's shock absorption. Gadget, and not nullification. Gadget and Maria. So there's a limit. Gadget and Maria use their wire attacks and wrap them around Nomu's arms. Gadget's wire is then set aflame while Maria's is glaciated, burning Nomu's left arm and freezing Nomu's right arm. However, Nomu shook it off and rushed at them with incredible speed. It caught them off guard and punched them in the face, sending them tumbling back. It then stomped on them. Gadget, crud. Maria, any ideas? Tamura, kill them Nomu. But before Nomu could do that, Clover, full justice. Nomu was shot in the brain as it screeched in pain. This didn't go unnoticed by Izuku. Nomu got off the two as Clover rushed to them. Clover, glad you guys are okay. Also, I'm not sure which of you is in the white Mystic Ranger suit, but I would like to say that outfit doesn't look good on you. Maria, hey. Clover's eyes widened. Clover, you're not my brother. You're not Kaken either. Izuku walked over to Clover. Izuku, glad you're here. Tamura, Nomu, kill these brats already. Katsuki then showed up and sent an explosion at its face. Katsuki, glad to see you nerds. A guy, who the hell are you two? Maria, your new teammates. Gadget, we're Rangers as well. Izuku and Clover looked at each other. Clover, didn't see that coming. Izuku, I was just as surprised. Katsuki, hold the phone. Maria, is that you? Maria, how do you know my name? Katsuki, it's me. Katsuki Bakugo. Maria, seriously? Wow, what are the odds? Clover, you know her, Kaken? Katsuki, she's my cousin. Izuku, Clover, and Gadget. What? Tamura, it doesn't matter how many of you brats there are. Nomu can defeat you all. Nomu's burns started to heal. Gadget, wait. I thought you said his quirk was shock absorption. Tamura, when did I say that was his only quirk? He also has super regeneration. Katsuki, you know, I did not see that coming. Gadget, so leader, what's the plan? Izuku, me? Gadget, yes you. Zato told us that you're the leader. Izuku, oh. Nomu, tried to attack them, but they dodged in time. Izuku, I have an idea. Here's the thing. When Clover shot Nomu's brain, it screeched out in pain. Every enemy has their weak point. And while Nomu is able to reduce the power of punches, attacks like Clover's quirk, which don't involve punching, are not affected by this quirk. As for its super regeneration quirk, if we attack fast enough, it won't be able to regenerate in time, giving us the advantage. Gadget, so we need speed? Izuku, exactly. And now that there's 5 of us, we have a full team. Katsuki, you thinking what I'm thinking? Izuku, exactly. The others knew what his plan was. Their morphers then became Rangers, RPM, getting gear. Izuku is the Red Ranger, Clover is the Green Ranger, Gadget is the Black Ranger, Maria is the Yellow Ranger, and Katsuki is the Blue Ranger. Tamura, your little costume changes aren't going to be enough to take down Nomu. Rangers, we'll see about that. The Rangers then charge at incredible speed. They were much faster than before. Nomu tried to punch them many times, but it wouldn't hit. Izuku, remember everyone. Use your nitro blasters. Aim for the brain. Everyone, right? Kaneko, Izuku, Clover, Kaken, please, stay safe. She remembered when Izuku called Kaneko, Chiron. Kaneko, how did he remember my name? Nomu tried to escape an onslaught of blaster attacks, but it couldn't protect itself all that well due to its massive size. Since the blasts didn't involve physical blows, Nomu's shock absorption quirk was useless, and against 5 foes at once, its super regeneration wasn't going to be of much help either. Tamura was getting sick of it and tried to enter the fight himself, but then Clover teleported right behind him and blasted him in the back. Tamura, what? But, how? Clover, PSH. Like I'm going to tell you. Figure it out yourself. Clover went back into the fight against Nomu. Katsuki, time manipulation burst. Time suddenly stopped and Katsuki was the only one who could move as he sent multiple explosions at Nomu's brain. He would have used his blaster, but time stopped for it as well. After 10 seconds, time resumed and Nomu's screech could be heard across the entire UA campus. And someone was watching the battle go on. Unknown character. Maria, I want to help you, but you can't get stronger if I'm always fighting your battles. So I'll keep watching your fight. And if things start to get out of hand, I'll step in. Izuku, it's working. Keep it coming. Nomu got in front of Katsuki and tried to punch him, but Gadget got in front of him and activated his shield to protect him. Katsuki, thanks. Gadget, no prob. Maria, energy blast. She shot a massive blast of energy at Nomu and caused a lot of damage. Isizuku, burst attack. He used his burst attack and caused a lot of damage on Nomu. He then noticed something. Isizuku, guys. Nomu's regeneration is getting slower. He was right. Nomu was still regenerating, but it had so many injuries and was healing at a snail's pace. Gadget, now what? Isizuku, we finished this. Let's summon our weapons. The team summoned their respective weapons. Clover, now what? Isizuku, we combine our weapons to make the RPM Enforcer. Rangers, right. Tamura, Kurogiri. Stop them. Before Kurogiri could try anything, Weiss, Chara, Kaneko, and Ryuko stopped Kurogiri and held him down. Ryuko, nice try. But I know you have a physical body considering that stupid accessory of yours. Tamura, damn it. The Rangers combined their weapons to create the RPM Enforcer. Gadget, hold on. Isn't this considered killing? Isizuku, not exactly. That thing, it's not even a living being. It's essentially a reanimated corpse. We have to put it out of its misery. Gadget nodded. Gadget, then let's finish this. The blast hit Nomu dead on, and it exploded into nothing while they turned their backs towards it. Because that's super cool. Tamura, what? No, this wasn't supposed to happen. They cheated. The Rangers then fell down on one knee while demorphing. The girls who were holding Kurogiri down ran to the Rangers. Isizuku, wait. Don't let him. Tamura ran up to them with his hand out, his face showing pure rage. But then, a yellow projectile grazed his arm. Tamura, GH. What the? Unknown character. You Rangers did great. I'm proud of you, Maria. Maria, I know that voice. Then, someone new showed up in front of the class, and his mere presence terrified Tamura. Maria, Shadow. Shadow looked back at her and smiled. Ryuko, holy cow. You're Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm your biggest fan. Hold on. Turns to Maria, how do you know Shadow? Maria, Shadow is my best friend. Shadow, I consider us more like siblings. But yes, I helped train Maria and Gadget's ranger powers. I'll handle this right now. Shadow, Chaos Spear. The spears gave Tamura a lot of injuries in his arms. That's when the other pros arrived, including All Might. Tamura, damn it. If only those brats weren't here. We would have won then. Kurogiri, this is game over for real. Let's go home. Kurogiri then used his quirk and he and Tamura escaped. But before they did, Tamura looked at All Might in pure rage and said, Tamura, All Might, one day, I will kill you. And with that, they escaped. Gadget, Shadow, why didn't you stop them? Shadow, as of right now, there's no real point. That blue-haired man is just some lame man-child. Besides, I did promise Maria to help humans. And killing him isn't helping him. Maria, thanks Shadow for helping. Oh, by the way, this is Katsuki Bakugo. He's my cousin. Shadow, your cousin? Katsuki, that's what she just told you. Shadow, nice to meet you. Anyways, I have to leave. Ryuko, hang on. Before you leave, can I have your autograph? Shadow, all right. He then gave Ryuko an autograph. Ryuko, this is awesome. After that, everyone was lined up outside of the USJ to get reviews on their condition. Thanks to the Rangers and Shadow, all the students were okay. Nizuo, Gadget and Maria, you finally made it here. Toru, you know them? Nizu, they are your newest classmates. Everyone, what? On the way home. Isizuku, Clover, do you know of anyone by the name of Chiron? Clover, I actually do. I can help you understand everything. But let's wait until tomorrow for that. We've been through enough today. Isizuku, I couldn't agree more. I feel very sore right now. And so, they went back home and took the rest of the day off. So, this was the end of part 2 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.